If you'd like to get better at gesture drawing, then this video explains one tip or one piece of advice that will not only help you to be more responsive and dynamic in your work, but will also help you in your longer and more detailed studies. That one piece of advice is to start to think about being more selective in your mark making. Hi there, welcome to my studio. Thanks for checking out this video. My name's Siobhan. On this channel, I share videos about a dynamic and expressive approach to drawing the figure. Each week, I share tips and techniques for drawing, and I share my own process. So if you're interested in figure drawing, then definitely subscribe so that we can stay in touch. Today, I'm going to share a process from a recent drawing session of a page of figure studies. Gesture drawing really is a great practice to help you learn how to make a strong statement in your work, and it's also great to help you to develop a natural line that has its own rhythm. And there's one simple reason for both of these aspects, and that is that gesture drawing forces you to be selective. So here's a video, and I'll explain a bit more about what I mean about being selective in your drawing. As usual, as in every video, I'll leave a link to the exact model reel that I'm drawing from in the description below. So if you want to go and check out the photo reference that I'm using, then click that link, maybe pull it up and draw along with me if you can. And I'm using compressed charcoal on newsprint paper. So what do I mean by being selective? Because in a gesture drawing, you really only give yourself a couple of minutes at most to draw the figure, you have to choose what it is you're going to put down on the page that will describe that pose. In that sense, gesture drawing forces you to learn how to see the most important aspect of the pose. And you also learn how to be really economical with your marks in order to draw that. So by being selective, you need to sort of filter out the complexity of the figure that you see and focus solely on the essential aspects that you think or that you can respond to when you're looking at the pose. The figure is so complex to draw, and in just 1 or 2 minutes, you're not going to be able to draw everything that you see. You have to be able to describe what you see economically. So to do that, you look for the most important thing, and that could be the bend of the torso or the tilt or twist within the body. It could be just one simple line that describes the legs, or one line that runs through the arms that shows the direction and the movement of those forms. You don't necessarily have to draw a perfect outline of the entire figure, and you certainly don't have to draw anatomical details. I've made a video recently where I talk about how a lot of beginner figure drawing students get very frustrated when it comes to gesture drawing, simply because they think that a gesture drawing is a fast drawing of the entire figure. And that's very misleading and counterproductive to the point of gesture drawing. What I want to be clear on is that with these kinds of drawings, you get to choose what's the most important thing to say about the pose that you're looking at. Very often when you look at a pose, the first thing that you see is that impression of the power or energy of the body, and it's not necessarily the anatomical details. So this exercise helps you to find ways to express that powerful first impression or the essential aspects of the figure in your own lines and your own marks. Now, once you realize that you can be selective in your marks and be selective in what you kind of see or understand in the pose, that frees your drawing up to be a lot more confident. And that leads me to my second point, which is that being selective in your drawing will allow your line work to have a sense of rhythm. With confident and selective line work, you're choosing what you want to emphasize with your marks. So you get to push your marks at the point where you want to be strong in your statement, or pull your marks and get really light in the parts where you want there to be less emphasis, or where you want there to be, a quieter or more subtle moment in your drawing. So this natural push and pull in your line work is really what I'm talking about when I talk about being responsive in your drawing. It's all about your response to the model or to the pose that translates through your line work, through your marks onto the page. The marks you make and deciding where you want to make your strong emphasis is what's going to give your line work a unique sense of rhythm, and simply put, it's your unique way of drawing and signature that comes through. What I see as the most important aspect, or the most, the thing that I want to emphasize the most, is not necessarily going to be the exact same that you see or that you want to emphasize. So the way you look at the pose is completely different to the way I would look at it. And that's why your marks and your translation of what you see through your marks is unique. It's your distinctive, expressive drawing language. Now, developing this selective line work, or developing this approach to looking at the pose and deciding what to put down in a gesture drawing, has huge impacts and implications for longer and more detailed drawings. When you do sit down to make a long, detailed, more accurate drawing, or even a portrait where you're going for, the utmost accuracy that you can get, when you're not trying to be expressive or responsive, you'll actually be able to infuse your drawing with a nuanced emphasis, and that only really comes from practicing your line work in exercises like this. In longer drawings of the full pose, students very often forget about the quality of their line work. And even though they make a correctly proportioned and very well rendered drawing of the whole entire figure, if they feel that there's something lacking in the final outcome, it could be that their line work doesn't have any rhythm or variation. Instead, it's just one note all the way around. Being careful and considered in how you vary up your line work will really make for a much more interesting drawing. This aspect of drawing is as important to develop as, understanding structure and anatomy. Alongside that academic work, I think it's also really crucial to understand your own unique mark making and your responsiveness to what you see through your lines. Ultimately, that's going to lead to a really unified, cohesive drawing skill set overall. So just to sum up, if you want to improve your gesture drawing, then consider doing exercises like this, where you really try to be selective in what you want to say within as short a time frame of 1 or 2 minutes. These exercises will improve your ability to be selective, which in turn will just improve your sense of emphasis and your rhythm in the quality of your line. So I hope this video was helpful and I hope it was useful to you. Please let me know in the comments below if you've got any thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks as always for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. Please give the video a like. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing so that we can stay in touch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.